Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between podcast. I'm Renae Lipsmeyer. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on these videos. Thanks again for watching. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between podcast. I'm Renae Lipsmeyer. This week we have a special guest, and here's why he's special. He's special for so many reasons, but the special reason is I've met this dude one time, and I can only speak for myself, but like he had such an instant energy. I was like, I need to know who you are. So we took a picture that night, and this is Dallas this year, met in the parking lot. I saw his sign. Of course, you've probably seen his sign in multiple selfies throughout the Dave Matthews Band world. And so today we have Jason, and I'm going to let Jason tell us everything about his fabulous self, who he is, how he met the band, how he got to Dallas, and where he's from. So Jason, thank you so much for being on this episode.
My pleasure, and thank you. And
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can remember all those questions, but I hope to hit all of them.
I'll help you. No worries.
Was it Dallas that we met, or did we meet in Houston?
No. Well,
Dallas,
I remember Dallas. Now, of course, I was at Houston. Do I remember all of Houston? Maybe not. So I remember Dallas.
We met in the pit. That's why. That's what I think you don't remember.
Did we?
We met in the pit in Houston.
I wasn't in the pit
And
in Houston.
I was with... You weren't? Oh, then I'm delusional and high. So
There's another girl named Renae that looks something like me with a podcast. It's weird.
Oh, that's funny.
No, it's not.
Two Renaes.
It's not true at all. It's not true.
It is in my world.
Me.
No.
So I met you in Dallas. That's when I remember meeting you. And here's where we were. We were standing... I'm walking back from Dallas, and I'm going back to like where we were in the parking lot before the concert. And so,
But I didn't know you then.
You didn't know me. You were sitting in the back of a car, like the hood was up. You were sitting in the back of the car, just sitting there. And I think you had your sign. And for whatever reason, I just came and I sat by you, and I was like, hey. And we started talking, and I was like, oh my God, I love you. I must know who you are. And then... I don't know. I'm sure you saw it. There was like a social media post that I put out on the DMB family. I was like, I met this dude and like, I don't know who he is, and like, help me find him. And boom, it kind of exploded.
Yep,
so
that's me.
Tell us who you are. Yeah, tell us who you are.
All right. Well, my full name is Jason Dombrow. I like to say you pronounce it the same way you would say the words domino and eyebrow, but you got to smash them together. So it's Dombrow.
That is what I remember about that night, and that was in the social media post too, was like, all I remember is eyebrow, because you said put domino and eyebrow together, but all I got was eyebrow. So I was like, Jason Eyebrow, something Jason Eyebrow.
Not the first time I've been called that.
Tell me about the sign that you have there in your hands. Tell me what that's about.
This sign, well, this is my More Love sign in honor of Leroy Moore from the band. And I kind of added a few decorations to it this year. And I've been adding stickers to the back so it's less intrusive to the people behind me. At least it gives them something to look at, I suppose.
So you've had that for 10 years, is that correct? Something like that?
I had this, well, to know about this sign, I have to show you others. And I happen to pull them out because I figured you'd want to know.
Yeah, you're an amazing
By the
guest.
way, I live in Los Angeles. See, I'm on my patio here, where I film a YouTube channel called The Hi Little Guy. So if anyone's interested in following me on YouTube, you can go at The Hi Little Guy and follow me there. And that's a new thing I'm doing. I also, for the past 18 years, have been a professional organizer, organizing people's homes with clutter and space and functionality and like that.
That's amazing.
And
much needed.
I also am an author of a children's book called "Hello, Heaven Is Poppy There," um, and it's a true story of when I was 9 years old and how I dealt with grief of the loss of my grandfather, and it's told through a family of dogs, uh, inspired by my dog Disco, who's the main character in my story. And there's actually speaking. This is funny because there's actually probably over 30 references to Dave Matthews songs in that book.
Really?
They're all the main characters except for Poppy, my grandfather, and Disco, my dog. The characters are named after Dave Matthews songs. So my brother is
No way.
Crash, my mom is Raven, my grandma is Granny, and my father is Jimmy.
Oh
And
my God.
yeah, so
This is
there's other
amazing,
references
Jason.
throughout the book, which I think if any of you of your fans, your any Dave Matthews fan reads it,
Yeah.
they'll get a chuckle just from that because
I
they're in there.
love
There's like
that. Oh my God, that's
and
amazing.
along with the book, I released a song called "Hey Poppy" that streams on any of the streaming things. And
Awesome.
I guess that's about it for now. And I'm the father of a dog that I love named Disco.
Name Disco.
Yeah.
It's a very fitting
Okay.
name for your dog.
Yeah, of course.
Well, Jason, we're
Uh,
so thrilled that you're here. Tell us, give us like a short backstory on like how in the world did you find Dave Matthews? Let's kind of go back in time and tell me like what life looked like when you found them and how it is that you came to be what, the fan that you are now.
well, quite a funny story, so I'll hold off on my science story for a minute, but we'll get right into it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Um, I used to throw an annual Fourth of July party back in New York where I lived at my mother's house. It was like my favorite thing to do because I'd get to barbecue and my friends would come over and we'd all get drunk and we'd just have a grand old time.
Absolutely. 4th of July.
And one Fourth of July said 1994, no, maybe 1995, after Under the Table and Dreaming came out. My friend came over and she was like, "Oh my God, Jason, you gotta listen to this music. You're gonna love it." Da, 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 da. And I put on the album and then I start playing the song. It's like, I think put on two. What would you say? And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever. It's a little jazzy, I guess. And then she's like, well, put on three. It's Satellite. It was, it's pretty, but it's too jazzy. Like, it's just, no, I
Right.
don't like it. And then she put on Ants Marching, and I was like, no, it's too jazzy. It's not my type of
Right.
music. Just, I hated
Right.
it, actually.
So, what were you listening to? What was your kind of music at the time?
I was listening to, this is embarrassing, but it's true.
No,
Uh,
it's the 90s.
I don't know why it's embarrassing, but I guess for my generation, maybe it is. The
No.
Gen Xers, yes, we're still here. Um,
Yes.
uh, I was listening to Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond, Billy
Yes.
Joel, um, Madonna,
Oh my
like
God.
that kind of.
There's nothing embarrassing about any of that.
I think U2 came out at the time, maybe.
Yes.
That was
All
my
good stuff.
jam.
But
Yeah.
very different than the Dave
Elton
Matthews
John, of course.
Band.
Say again?
Very different. So, but all very
Oh yeah.
different than the Dave Matthews Band. So I can see why you were like, I don't know if
I was
that's
just
my
never really
jam.
exposed to like the classical jazzier stuff.
Right.
And I mean, I listened to Barbara Streisand because my mother listened to Barbara Streisand, and she's great. And
She's wonderful.
I've never heard her sing, so I can't vouch for nothing. But the records are great.
Right. Same.
Yeah. Um, but so I hated the music, and like I was like, nah, just I'm taking it off. She's like, oh, just listen to one more. I think she played "Typical Situation." I'm like, it's
Mm.
okay, maybe. I was like,
Maybe. Maybe.
maybe, but not really. Like it was just like, no, it's too, yeah, yeah.
Still too jazzy.
Yes, and then um, we were coming back from spring break from college. We were going. I lived in New York and I went to college up in Albany, New York, and we came back from winter break or whatever it was, or summer break rather, and like it was September 5th, 1995. They were playing at this little theater on campus called the Rack. I don't know if it's still called the Rack now. Um, and tickets were $20. And I didn't want to go because I was like, I knew I hated the music, so why would I go?
It's too jazzy.
It was too
It's
jazzy.
the
It really
line of the
was.
night. It's too jazzy.
It still is, but I appreciate it now.
I fucking love it. It's so great.
That's the best album. Anyway, um, so where was I? I lost my spot.
2000, no,
Oh, so we went. Yeah, so we
1995.
came back from college, and it was literally either you go to the concert to be with friends because everybody was going, or you
Oh,
have the
yeah.
night off and you do something on your own because literally everybody was going. So I said,
Right.
fine, here's my $20. I'll go to the damn show. So it was set up where it was like bleachers on the sides and bleacher in the back. And then there was like the paid area, general admission, whatever it was. You can go on, back then, you can go anywhere you wanted.
Right.
And, they're in their little jams outfit, playing away. But before the show, the barrier had broke. So the security barrier broke. So they had to remove them. And then the show began, and everybody kept getting pushed into the stage and like getting crushed, and people couldn't breathe, and da da da. So they had to start pulling people out onto the stage in the middle of the performance and scoot them up to the side.
Oh my
It was,
God.
and I'm like somehow got into the music because it was better live, I guess. I don't know. And
Imagine
then I
that.
was just like, I was like, okay, good, yeah, fine, all right, good. And then there were. This is before Crash came out, so they were like toying with like they played Proudest Monkey. That was like when that was on the end of Crash, I was like I flipped out in the parking lot. But that's a later story. So uh, I was like in the music, and I've never been in a pit before, and and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of the pit in the front row, and Dave's like, how far could he be?
Right.
It wasn't that big of an arena. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I'm getting on stage. So I jump. I'm like, I want to get
What?
out. And yeah, the first day I was met Dave Matthews. I didn't meet him, but he was like playing. I think it was Warehouse. I don't know. I don't remember. And I got out, and
Wait, just so I can make sure that I'm hearing this correctly, did you say I wanted to get on stage?
yeah, that's right. Because the barrier broke, and I was in the middle of the pit overheating, and I was like, I'm going to go on stage to get the hell out of here. I'm going back through
Clearly.
that stage. Yeah.
Oh my
I'll
God.
take advantage of the system, sure. So I
Oh
jumped.
my God.
They pulled me out. I mean, everybody helped me out. It was like everybody knew if you needed to get out, you go up.
Oh my God.
So
That's so wild to think about, like this many years later, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But he was just standing there, jam. I was like, okay, cool, and I walked away,
Oh,
and I sat on the stage for a second. I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. And a friend of mine saw me, and I pointed at her, and she saw me. And to this day, she's like the only one who swore that I was there because
right.
nobody else believes me, but she saw me.
Thank God for her, right?
Oh hell yeah! So anyway, then I think they just grabbed me at the live show to really answer your question, and I was a
Wow,
fan, and
yeah.
I saw, back then you can. I don't know. I think I went to a few more shows that tour, and then the next year we did like 8 shows in like 2 weeks because you can go to like
Right.
100 shows in 5 minutes from each. I mean, an hour or two from each
Exactly.
other.
Those lucky New York people.
I know.
I
Seeing
mean,
shows at
honestly,
this.
I kind of feel like God was like, here's a bone for you because Is it?
Yeah.
You're not living in New York anymore. You left. It's not the greatest place to live, is it? Or is it?
Or
I
is
love
it?
it. I love it, but I don't think I would want to live there.
Yeah,
I don't
that's why
think
I
so.
live in LA now.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of traffic and shit here too, but
right,
all
right.
right, I'm gonna get to the history of this sign.
Yes,
Anyway,
please.
114 shows later, here I am,
Holy
still
shit.
following the band.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
With this sign,
114 shows.
okay, so anyway, this is the history of this sign. I have to go to the beginning.
Okay.
So this was the day I was going to see the concert at the Staples Center the day Leroy died. I
Hmm.
made a sign, but I didn't know he had died. I just made this little sign that said, "Love for Leroy." And I brought, it was to wish him well, like that kind of a thing.
Right,
I didn't
right.
mean to wish him up to heaven. That was a big wish. Um,
I don't think you did.
no, I know. But I had this sign, and I was at the show, and I was just holding it up like this, or however I was holding up the sign. And some woman, we were maybe in the 10th row, and maybe someone in the 7th row said, "What did your sign say?" So I showed her my sign, and she goes, he died today, right? And then the lights went out, and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Ah!" But I didn't know he had died
Right,
yet.
right,
It wasn't like there wasn't a notice. Now, mind you, I'm here
right,
with my best friend. It's her first show. I just took some mushrooms. I'm ready to have the best night of my life. And they open with the version of Bartender I don't know that they'll ever play that way ever again. It was
right.
the most insane experience. And when he announced Leroy's passing, I just bawled my eyes. Like I couldn't have imagined hearing that news anywhere else.
Right.
And we all mourned that day. They played, but it was
Hmm.
a somber mode. Like it
Right.
was. We were like, "Holy shit!"
Wow.
And then I went back. I think someone interviewed me on that night. So it's like I'm like being interviewed on shrooms. I'm like, I think it was. I mean, there was. It
The
was
best things in life sometimes happen when you're on shrooms.
oh,
It's
that's for
just
sure.
the way, I
Uh,
mean,
and some. Okay.
and then
Anyway,
some.
um, so I had this sign for those 2 days and those two shows, and I even signed it. That was show 63 on 8/19/08.
Wow. It's
So
hard
I
for
had
me
that.
to believe like that, and I guess I didn't realize that they played on the day that he passed away,
Oh yeah.
because in my brain I would think, and I think most people would feel like if something happened to part of the band, like how would they go on the same day without being an emotional wreck? And they were able to pull it together and give you guys a heartfelt concert that you'll never forget. But
Oh,
how
you can say
incredibly difficult that
that.
must have been. Do what?
I said you can say that. I won't forget that moment. No,
I'm
I
sure
felt
many
so bad for
won't.
my friend because she didn't know I was on shrooms,
Oh
and I
no.
mean, I bawled the whole concert, like the whole night. It was like Jesus, and I've held up a sign for in Leroy's honor ever since that day, and it's taken a
So
few
much.
forms. Um, the sign after that, because I didn't know where I put that. I think um, I made I used for 1 year in 2009, and it says forevermore.
Hmm.
And
I love that
that
you've kept
sign,
all these.
yeah, oh yeah, my baby. No, yeah.
I love
um,
it.
and this sign was used in the end of sale banner ad when the Gru Crux album came out, and it was just like the band on one side and my sign on the other side, and it was just like
Wow.
the best way to honor the sign. So
Oh my God,
that
yes.
retired, that one, and then
Wow.
I made the one you see till today, which is the same sign since 2010.
Oh my goodness.
It's had a little, it needs a little more love on the bottom here, but it literally is the same sign. With one
Wow.
caveat, in Joan Beach, I think it was in 2010, I had to make a makeshift one because I forgot my sign.
Oh
I
no. You can't.
flew from I think I was in San Diego. I don't know, remember where I flew. I must have been in San Diego, I think. I flew from San Diego to my friend in Brooklyn, and we drove to Jones Beach to see the show, and it was pouring rain. I mean, you can still see because it's like it like
Yeah. You can tell it
separated
got
the,
wet.
yeah. But this is the only show that this is the sign that was at that show, and that was the only sign, the only show I never had this sign,
Oh
and
my
that's the
God, I
story of
love
the sign.
that.
But I
I
hold it
love
up
that.
in a way for me to honor him and just to spread a little more love, you know.
I love that so much. And I know that so many people are aware of the meaning of your sign. And so
Well, this is the
thank
whole
you
story.
for, thank you for like making sure that his memory lives on, even though, we're so
Mhm.
many years out from his death. But I think, remembering where the band came from and who they started with and where like the influences of the beginning and how it's kind of traveled into now, even though we have different members, they're still very you know they're doing their own thing, but yet at the same time I feel like they're paying respect to how it was first done. And so thank you for making sure that even like new fans and old fans just remember him. And so thank you
Yeah,
for that so much.
my pleasure. I mean, there's a lot of people that
Absolutely.
don't know, what he gave to the band. This is no disrespect to what
No,
Jeff's
no,
doing. He's
no. No, no, no.
completely different. No, he once. I say that
Exactly.
only once because I once held the sign up and he saw it and he said, "What about me?" And I was like,
Yeah, I
"I
know.
could,
Where's
I
his
could-
sign? Where's his
I
sign?
love you, Jeff."
Well, big shout out. So maybe next time there'll be a sign from someone else. Jeff will have his own, like, I don't even know what it would say, but his
Yeah,
last name is not as easy to work with as Moore is.
yeah.
Coffin.
Coffin love,
Oh shit!
little
What is
deep.
it that we're saying? I don't feel comfortable with that. You can do it.
Somehow I'll make it work.
I'm gonna let you do it. It's working for you, but I will not be the girl with a coffin sign out there. Or if I do, I'm going all the way. I'm building it like in a coffin shaped sign, like I'm going all the way. Even
Coffin
though it's
love,
not spelled the same, I'm still doing
and
it.
not like it's love. Like here, take some love. None of that. None of that.
No.
Mm-mm.
So you
Anyway,
have a
I'm
few
like,
more signs, and I want to see
oh, I
everything.
didn't
I
show you.
love
Did
the
I show you
fact.
the? Sorry, before I
No.
forget, I didn't show
Well,
you the
you.
back of the sign.
Okay, let's see here. We've got Pig. We've got 41. I can't read them all, but of course the
Oh,
Gorge Crew.
yeah.
I
Shout
can't.
out to
I can't
them.
read them all.
I haven't been to the Gorge since 2002 when they recorded it
Really?
and played the
Wow.
same damn song so they can get the damn CD. We all know it's okay, but we still
So what
do.
does WR stand for?
This?
Yeah.
That's for Willie Reserve. It's his weed company.
No way.
Willie's
I
Reserves. Yeah, my
did
friend
not
used to work
know. Learn something new every day.
every
Oh
day.
my
This
God,
is
that's
my newest
amazing.
sticker, which someone gave me. It was a lovely little sticker of all the albums, and it
Oh
included
my God,
"Walk on the
no.
Moon."
Can you hold that up to the camera like a little more so I can?
I don't
Oh
know
my
how.
God, that's amazing. No, you're perfect. It's perfect. I love that.
Yeah, isn't
It's
that cute?
amazing how many stickers are out there.
Yeah, but I don't do any of
So
that.
many
I
good
love the
ones.
deep tracks only.
Yes, I love that. I love that sticker because I'm a big Office fan. I am obsessed,
Yeah.
and so I love that.
I have other stickers in my reserve, like some
Of
original
course you do.
stickers.
Sure.
But like I have one of the original square stickers still.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to stick it on my car, but I never had the balls.
No, because if you ever get rid of the car, the sticker goes with it, and so it's like, well, shit.
I know I
You
had it
can't
on
do
my
that.
Honda Accord back in 91 or 2 when I was a
In the
kid.
1900s.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny thing. This is a true story. When I was in college, I I got a license plate and it said DMB crazy, but it
Mm-hmm.
was DMB CRSY or some
Right. Right.
meaning like I was crazy about DMB. But
Right.
everyone thought it was said dumb and crazy. I was like, all right, I'll get another one.
That's even better, though. The fact that you drove around with that on all of the time.
But then I got somehow in New York you can get like 8 letters or something. But I got Crash Into Me, but phonetic, CRSHN do me.
No way.
Number
That's
2.
amazing.
Yeah.
What
And
does
that's
your
my
license plate say now? Do you
Disco
have
after my dog.
disco? Well, no, that's still solid.
Disco,
Solid
yeah.
choice.
Disco.
Oh, disco. I kind of
So I'm
feel
either
like
going,
at some
disco or disco all the time.
one of the two. No, I get it.
Mhm.
Usually with my
Oh,
dogs,
there's
it's
many
like,
versions of that.
you little fucker, disco.
And I
That would
have
be
to
what I
say,
say.
there's just a total new note, I suppose, but to update the sign. But you probably seen the little promo they have on the Dave Matthews Instagram that with the listening party from the LA.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, they interviewed me, and I was in there, and my sign is in DMB history now. So
Oh my God, look at you. See, it all happened from a sign. And I, again,
it
think that
happens
that's
from a
awesome.
love of a man's passion. That's what it comes from.
That's really what it came from. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, a, a kind of a progressive into a passion. I mean, I can't
Yeah,
forget
for
this
sure.
was all too fucking jazzy for you.
It was too jazzy. Yeah, it was too jazzy. It really
So
was.
fucking
I
good.
remember
I mean, I
exactly where I
think
was standing in my mother's house when this happened. I really do. It was like it was like on one of the no one will remember like a jukebox, a boombox or whatever that had the CDs on the top. And so
uh-huh.
it was there, and it was like whatever. Maybe I have dual tape deck, which was like new or whatever. The CD was new. Who remembers?
So cool. Yeah.
And I just remember hitting it. My friend was sitting on the seat over there. She goes, "All right, go to the next one. You don't like this? How could you not like this?" She was sitting there like this. We still laugh about it today because it's like that. I've become a fanatic after like hating them.
Right? Now that you've
But
been to
that's
a
that,
hundred
but
and
that's
whatever shows.
that's true of most of the things I do.
No, me
I'm
too.
usually like a no, and then I'm like, oh, maybe.
I'm very hot or cold, so I'm either yes or no. There's not a maybe. I don't have any maybes. I'm just like yes or no.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to get there, but yeah.
Nah, it's really
One kernel
more
at a
fun
time.
to be a maybe. It's
Yeah,
really more fun to be a maybe.
sure.
So tell
So,
me what this tour season looks like for you this year in 2023. So we know you went to Houston, you went to Dallas. What does the rest of the year look like? Are you in LA for the rest of the year? I mean, we know that Dave and the boys are coming to California. Are some of those shows in your future?
I can't say they're not, but I don't currently have
It's always a
tickets.
maybe.
It's always a maybe. I don't currently have any tickets. Hint, hint, hint.
Dude, I went to the first 10 shows and I had tickets for 3 of the shows. So I just
Now I'm saying
fly.
to your viewers who are watching, get in touch with me.
Yeah, hook us up.
Yeah.
I
Hey, one at a
mean,
time. No, I'm kidding.
Tickets should be the last of your worries. That's what I always tell everyone. I'm like, there's always tickets. Now, if you're extremely
Yeah, but
picky about where you are,
sometimes when
then
sometimes when you're as picky as I am,
are
being a
you
fan for so long.
I'm
No, I'm
sure. I'm
not. I
sure.
don't have to sit up close. I don't have to be
Okay.
up close to enjoy the music. I
Right.
want to hear the music. I'm a
Yes.
auditory like experiencer, if you,
Yes.
and I visually love whatever they're doing now. The whole new lighting rig is pretty
Yes.
cool.
Right? Oh my God, yes.
Um, but you know, I have no plans, but I
We'll see
mean,
what
the people that
happens,
are
right?
trying to get money on these sites that are like $800 for a ticket, I'm like, get the hell out of here.
It's not gonna happen, and I'm sorry if you paid $800 for a
No,
ticket.
I wouldn't
I
pay
call
no
those people
$800.
suckers.
Mm-mm.
I
No,
mean,
no, no.
I'm not in the game of going to eight. Yes. Just level, open your eyes. Where could that be from, Jason? Where's that from?
Where could that be from?
I mean, we're talking about. Could it be from the Dave Matthews Band?
Yeah, it could be. In
Maybe.
fact, it is.
Oh!
David J. or John Matthews.
So I'm glad
I
that you're
might,
feeling relaxed.
I might go to. um, you have any other questions in terms of the things you want to know about me or the history of me or how to reach me or I don't
I
know.
do. I have like
Okay,
10
good.
more questions. Are you ready?
Oh, I'll shut up.
Okay, let's see. What do you think that the Dave Matthews Band has brought to your life that no other music has had the ability to do?
I think I envy the level at which Dave Matthews gives his passion,
Mm-hmm.
has freedom to be himself,
Yeah.
and his words that he's spreading of kindness and such that I uh, agree with, I guess.
Right. No, I think that there's not been a better time ever in the history of ever to have someone that is saying those things that right, it's okay to be who you are, it's okay to be um what you aren't, right? It's just
Yeah.
okay. And within all of that there's love and safety and acceptance and nurturing and all the things. And so I think, his music, his words and his love through his songs have always been needed, but I think that they're needed more in 2023 than they were in 1991. And maybe that's a bold statement, but I feel like his music is just so now, right? It's so now, and
Well,
especially the music that
are you
they're
talking
putting
about the
out
new
now.
album?
I mean, honestly, I think we could talk about any of it, but yes, his new album is so very now, and I think that he's captured the ears of so many people because he's relevant, right? He stays
Hmm.
relevant, and I don't think that that's his. I'll never know like if that's the purpose because I don't ever get to fact check this information with the band.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I mean, they're just killing it, and I think that my goal is to spread the word, about Dave Matthews and how and the band and how relevant they've been able to stay, because that's the story is 32 years of music, and they've always been able to stay relevant, and that's a big deal, right? I think that
I've been
that's
following them almost more than half my life.
right.
I was
Yeah, I mean,
17
yes.
years old when I started following the band.
Isn't that why? I mean, they've been
That's true.
around
I was
almost our
19
whole
years old.
lives.
I was 19 years old. I was in college.
Right, right.
18 or
I
18 or
was
19 years old, yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of my story too, is that I started really listening to them and digesting their music in college. And I think that that's even true now, that their music really speaks to people who are of adult age for the most part, right? Because his words are so complex and the way he writes lyrics like poetry, but
Uh-huh.
yet, it's just, it's easy to listen. Like, but then, one of the things I love about this band is you can read the lyrics now and you could read them in 5 years and it may mean something completely different to you,
Sure.
right? And
Hmm.
that's wild. That's wild.
I
That's
just,
never happened to me with another band.
yeah, I hear you. It's just what you're talking about. It is what I call the shift in context. Because you're not the same person you would be. And
Right.
I laugh because I just did a whole episode about that on my show.
Well, see, I mean, it's just true. It's
Yeah.
mind-boggling to me, but yet it's happening, and it's always so surprising. But honestly,
Yeah.
I say from year to year, but sometimes day to day, because several weeks back I heard Pig, and while I've
Uh,
always loved that song, and I've talked about this before, it's a great
Great.
message in that
Mm.
song. But on that day, what I needed to hear was that song, and I didn't know it. And so when I heard it and heard the message that was in it, it changed everything. So again, this music has the ability to change
Mm-hmm.
the chemistry that is happening in someone's brain. Like literally can stop negative thinking or change you into a path that's more positive. And so,
Yeah, sure.
those are the things I
If you're
just
willing.
if you're willing, right? You have to be open to change, and not
Sure.
everyone is. And that, not that that's bad or whatever, because it is hard to change, right? But life is full of change, so I feel like we should embrace it. Um,
I mean,
but not
that's right.
everybody's on the same.
Going to happen anyway. Just let
I
go and
mean,
enjoy.
yeah. I mean, I kind of feel that way. You might as well enjoy it. And
Yeah.
but I'm always so glad to hear that people think the same things as I do, so I don't feel quite as crazy when someone else says, you know what,
No,
I've talked about the same things or I felt the same way, so thank you for
it's just,
saying, oh my God.
yeah, it's just we're afraid to say it, and
Yeah.
well, I ain't now.
I'm not either, not anymore. And that's something that I wanted this podcast to be, was a safe place to kind of say what we're thinking, even if we're not right, even if we're wrong, even if we are right. Like, it doesn't matter, because it is okay to have an opinion and a thought process, and for us to all be different, because at the end of the day, what is it? We all do it the same, right? We all do it the same, and those are lyrics as well. And so we
Yes.
slightly look different, and we may all be running around like ants in different ways, but we're all still going to the same, we're all going in the same place in the same way. And so I
I
think
think
that this
it's.
music is,
I was
no,
just
go
going to say
ahead.
sorry for the interruption here, but
No, please do.
this music is about love and
Hmm.
and bringing people together, and that's what my goal is, and that's why I love the band. It's like it
Yeah.
aligns with who I am, and if it didn't, I wouldn't be as a. I mean, I probably bought
Exactly.
his house in Seattle. That's how much money
Yeah.
they.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm sitting here in
Even
my
invited me over once for coffee, not even once.
yeah, not even one. No, not even one.
Graduation announcements, nothing, Dave. We got nothing.
Yeah, I just met him at the Grammy Museum when I was at show 72.
After you crawled on stage. Oh my God. That's the
Oh yeah.
greatest story I think I've ever heard, ever. So
Oh my
tell
God.
me, so we've got you on
I might
stage.
have a better one. I might have a better
Oh,
one.
please, please.
I don't know. That's a really good one though, because it's my first
That's the
show.
greatest story ever for me.
Yeah, I hated that damn band. It would have been better if I listened to myself, because I would have saved myself a whole plot of land in Seattle. Um, Jesus. Um, but
So funny.
what was I saying? What was the question again?
You have
Where
a
were
better
we?
story. You said you were
Oh
going to
yeah, yeah,
top your own story.
yeah. This is one of my favorite stories for whatever reason. This is 2002. September, October, I think it was. I
Okay.
started a music school, and I was in class. One of my classmates I became friendly with her. I don't know what happened. Somehow she found out I was a big Dave Matthews fan, and she has a cousin who's was, I don't know currently, the drummer for the Carl Denson's Tiny Universe, who opened up for the band in the show. And she's like, he wants to meet you, and da 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 da. I'm like, okay, why would I say no? Um,
Exactly.
so I met him. We met at a coffee shop or something. I don't know. He's like, we just hung out for like an hour, chilled out. He was like, oh, that's cool. I just, my friend wanted. I like to meet fellow musicians and da 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 da.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's like, yeah, there were talks about James Brown, but I ain't seen nothing. There's no signs or nothing. I'm like, okay. He's like, well, why don't we meet up tomorrow? We'll meet up at the Subway. We'll just get a sandwich or something before and da da da. Okay, whatever. Meet up the next day. He's like, yeah, still nothing. I ain't seen nothing, but whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. Have a nice day. Going to the show. I was at Madison Square Garden. It was, I think it was Christmas, December 30th. I don't know, whatever the day they released that thing with James Brown.
Uh-huh.
I had 10th row seats or something like that.
Yeah.
And, you kind of, by this point in time, when something's happened or a guest coming out or whatever.
Sure.
And I don't even know what happened. It was magic. It was pure serendipitous magic that only happens at a show. I see these people coming out, and I said, from the front row, and I'm like, are you leaving? I said, are you coming back? They go, no, we're leaving. So I'm like, now. And I took
Yes.
my friend, and we went into the front row. We were right behind the speaker, and about, I don't know, a minute later, he announces that James Brown is coming out. And
Oh
I
my
was in the front
God.
row in Madison Square Garden with Dave Matthews and James Brown and watching them perform.
Oh my God. And again, you'll never forget that moment, right?
Oh, for
Ever.
sure. What I remember most about the moment was that it I've never seen sound, but I saw a sound hit the
Right. No, I
ceiling
get it.
of the venue. Like when he announced it, it was like, ladies and gentlemen, the Godfather, soul, Mr. James Brown. It was like it drew my head to the ceiling. That's the experience of how loud it got.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, what the?
James Brown, the music
Oh,
hit the
no, yeah, yeah.
ceiling.
It like blew my mind. I turned around and I was just like, holy cow. I thought they were going to blow the roof off the place. It got so loud. And that was a good moment because I remember watching Dave and him interact, and I watched him sing
Oh
Sex
God,
Machine.
yes.
I
Right.
mean, that was historic. It was
I'm sure
fantastic.
the energy was,
Oh, he was,
again, you could feel it, right? Like it was right there in your
yeah.
hands.
It was like
And
it
you could
couldn't get
see
any
it.
louder in there. There was no room for another peep. Like it was like
Right?
that high. It was just like it couldn't be more sound in it. If you could imagine it, just be jammed packed with sound. That's how loud it sounded.
Wow. I
That
cannot
was it.
imagine the chemistry of them two on stage together. And I'm sure
But
that
I
that's
think
like on a
Dave
video
was a
on
little
YouTube or something.
intimidated at first, but then he got into it. It was
Really?
great. Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
You can
God.
watch the video somewhere.
I will. I have to now, and I kind of want to like. I'll be more interested in looking to see if I can see the front row, just to see your face, like, you
Oh,
know.
there's like a half a second. No, I'm like right behind us, one of the speaker
Oh
things.
yeah.
Like cut my head off or something.
Yes.
Like one of those
Yeah.
things.
So, next, I just want to say, Jason, thank you so much for being a bright light in a parking lot because that's what you were for me. Just which sounds so like weird and whatever, but also if you're a Dave fan, you kind of know like walking back through the parking lot after leaving a concert, you know, you're kind of already like head in the clouds, in a good spot, like full of love. And that's what I saw from you. The moment I saw you was just that you were there, and you were in you like, I don't know if there were mushrooms on board. Cool. If not, whatever. But like you just had a spirit of love around you, and I could feel that. And typically I'm pretty good about picking up energies. And so thank you for everything you're putting out into the world and spreading love and doing just exactly what your signs are preaching, is that we need more love. So thank you so much. Don't go away, Jason. I'm definitely going to talk with you after the show. But guys, if you're listening to this on the podcast, just know that you can watch this episode on YouTube under the Space Between with Renae Lipsmeyer. I would love if you watch it on YouTube, because I definitely want you to connect with Jason, see his contagious spirit, and then to see all of the signs and stickers and things that he brought to show us. So again, thank you, Jason. And everyone, if you are not connected on social media, you can find us on Facebook under the Space Between podcast. It's a group on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and all of the things. So everyone, we send more love to you. Peace, love, and Dave Matthews.